G'day everybody, Sam Marwood here from Cultivate Farms. We try and make it possible for people to own their own farm or support them on their pathway to own their farm. And today we're talking with Shaya, who's based up in Byron Bay. Shaya, hello.
Hi, hi.
Uh,
I've actually just moved to Murwillumbah, so I'm in Tweedshire now.
and that's part of this story I want to unpack with
Yeah,
everyone, with you, Shaya. And the story is of persistence, and that's what we talk about so much at Cultivate Farms, that finding your farm is not an easy thing. And it takes determination, it takes time, it takes asking people, knocking on doors, driving up driveways, creating newsletters, which Shaya does all the time, and getting attention until one day someone says to you, hey, I've got a farm and I've been watching you and I know you and I think you're amazing. How about we work together on it? And that, in a nutshell, is the story, Shaya, I believe, from your end, which is why I wanted to catch up. So maybe love for you to just give us some background about yourself and your farming enterprise, and then let's turn into that journey you've been on over the last few years to get that secure piece of land for yourself.
yeah. Look, I'm a certified organic farmer. I grow industrial hemp, cut flowers, and market vegetables. I started my business in 2016. And yeah, it's been a huge journey since that point. I came in from an industrial hemp perspective, which is a grain crop. And so I learned market farming really from scratch. And yeah, and that's been my journey through through as a small scale organic producer, trying to find market share in Byron Shire and beyond.
And not only finding market share, but finding that long-term secure piece of dirt as well. And
Yeah,
yeah,
well, you know, I don't know about this. This is the thing for me. There are a lot of farmers that end up leasing land pretty much for their whole lives, and I'm not really sure, yeah, what my path is going to be. Whether I'm going to, continue to be a leasing farmer, or whether I will get to own land. At this stage, where I live, which has been Byron Shire, the land value is extremely high, so it really holds a lot of it just provides a barrier really to entry for young farmers, for people who aren't handed down farms, who aren't trustafarians, all of those situations. So if you're a landless farmer and you don't have farming in your family, then it can be really difficult and challenging to find land to farm, to start your journey on. Yeah, it's a common story. We hear it a lot, and especially from younger people, because often we don't have the kind of capital that's required for entry, especially in locations such as Byron Shire.
so what was your differentiator then, Shaya, that you got this piece of land now, which we'll talk about in a second, but your previous property that you're on,
Yeah.
how, how did that unfold?
I grew industrial hemp there as a trial crop.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a sugarcane farm, 100-acre sugarcane farm. The owner he really liked my attitude, and he liked that I was a hard worker and that I did what I said I was going to do, which are all really important things in the agricultural sector. So once he'd seen that, the couple had had an idea that they would like to have a vegetable garden on the property, and I love gardening and farming, and I was just leaving hemp at that time, and it seemed like just an opportunity to move into that. He offered me land on his property, and I stayed there for 4 years. So yeah.
And even that my understanding is there was a sense of long term with that, but obviously situations change with everyone's lives as well, and so you had to sound like, yep.
That's right. Yeah, the situation for my landlords changed. They went into retirement, and so they wanted less happening on the land, and they didn't want to manage so much stuff. So it became an opportunity for me to move on. Also, this was before COVID. I was just about to sort of pivot my business into tourism. That was really where I was headed in Byron Shire. And but now with the advent of the COVID thing, control the virus thing, then what has actually happened is that obviously tourism has ended up here for the time being. We don't really know when that's coming back. So I really had to look at the situation and be agile in what I've done. So yeah.
So we caught up again about a month ago, and we were starting, and you were saying you need a new piece of land, and we're about to start. We wrote a media release and we're about to put it out, and then you sent an email going, actually, I found something and someone and a farm, and I'd love to hear that story, Shay. Like it, and I think this is what I really want to encourage with farmers is that you probably get to that point where you're like, I need an answer here. I can't do tourism. The property I'm on at the moment, I'm gonna have to get out of there soon.
Yes.
Did that just magnify the urgency for you and force you to take different tricks and tacks to try and
it did really. I moved off my farm in December of last year. So I was off the farm before COVID hit in February, which is when I was talking to you. So basically it changed the piece of land that I was looking for. I was looking to stay close to a tourist centre and to be setting my whole business up around tourism enterprises. And because of the COVID situation, it has caused me to change that approach because tourism is no longer a certainty. In Byron Bay, we have about, I think it's something like 1 million visitors come to the place. And I often have a lot of requests for people to come on the farm and to actually experience what it is to farm. And so I decided I really love to educate, I love to talk. And it seemed like a really good way for me to work and to be able to fulfill all of those things. But now the situation has changed. There is no tourism here in the Shire at the moment. Of course, there's lots of speculation as to whether it's going to come back, whether the borders are going to open, whether the international borders are going to open, because a lot of our trade is also international tourists here in Byron Shire and also probably Tweed Shire and the Gold Coast. So it's kind of just needing to keep our eyes really, really closely peeled and watching and trying to remain agile. So what I've decided to do is just to go back into production at this point and watch to see what is going to happen once the borders open up for Queensland. I think it's up near September now, they're talking. Just to see what's actually happening on the markets too, on the produce markets, because I've talked to a lot of different farmers of different crops and everything's all over the shop at the moment. So we're watching to see how the markets are going to pan out and what's happening, because there's all kinds of shifts everywhere across the board in every sector.
And so in those discussions you had with those farmers, so you must have been talking around the market side of things, but through that is how your current opportunity came about. What's that story, Sharon?
Yeah, look, I'm here on a property now in Chillingham. I met the farmer who farms here in January. His name is Scott Hall, and the farm he has is Gabalar Syntropic. Syntropic. Gabalar Syntropic Farm, yeah. I think it is, or Syntropic Agriculture for Agroforestry Farm. Sorry, I got the name wrong. I met him in January, and he's another small-scale organic grower in the area, and we got to talking. If you've been following my journey for the past 3 or 4 years, I'm always very pro co-ops. I've always got my hand up in the air for anyone who wants to start to work cooperatively and collaboratively, because I do believe that this is the way that small-scale farmers are going to survive. We're not going to be able to do it all independently by ourselves. So the sooner we learn to cooperate and collaborate together and, be able to sell together, distribute together, and do different things like this in a cooperative fashion, I don't know that there's that much resiliency in our sector if we don't move to that. So I met Scott in January, and at the end of February it was in March. An opportunity came up with a house coming available, so I moved out of one of the houses on the property, so that became available for me. I wasn't looking at this farm, as I said, because I wasn't looking at this farm because of my focus was on tourism. So I was wanting to stay near a centre, near Byronshire, really. So when COVID happened and everything went haywire, then it opened up my possibility for moving out here, because it changed. Again, I had to pivot my head again. Okay, I'm not going to be doing tourism right now, so let's move into production back again, and just get stable in that, and then I'll think about doing the tourism when and if that opens up into the future. Yeah.
And it just shows you, feels like there's no wasted conversation when you're out there talking about farming with someone. Who knows where it could lead to?
That's right. That's right. I'm always chatting to people. I'll never turn down a conversation about farming. I could talk underwater farming all day long. So yeah, it's a really important conversation to have. And yeah, I've just been, I've been looking for a farm since June of last year, since June 2019. It's taken me 10 months to find my farm. I have talked to everybody. I put out social media posts. I put out blog posts. I'm a blogger. I've just sent it out far and wide. Anyone who I can speak to, I just keep letting them know, and just had to be very patient and trust that the right opportunity would come to me. I don't know how long term this will be. I'm hoping I'll be here for 5 years, and then I might be on to somewhere else. I'm not sure. As I said, it just looks, because everything looks so unstable here at the moment, we also don't know what's going to happen with the property market or land values. We're expecting that they might even fall. So you never know. Yeah, never know what happens into the future. I might buy my own land in 5 years. So yeah, that would be exciting too.
But you'll keep blogging, obviously, and keep talking about your journey, which is why, again, I wanted to chat with you, Shaya, because I think, you do such a great job. And through you, having the guts to tell your story as well, which is a big step even of itself, and then to continually keep at it and write it. We've got the farm yet, you're still writing, I think you're a massive encouragement to everyone else across Australia that, one, tell your story and ask. And maybe it's not even so much necessarily focusing on asking, but just telling your story and saying, hey, I'm looking for a farm, and just letting people know, and things click and opportunities come, and you talk to 100 people and one person finally comes back with an idea or an opportunity.
Right. You only need one opportunity. That's right. Yeah. And it is about being patient. And it's hard for farmers. We're a certain type of personality. Most of us are quite introverted, and we don't really want to share our lives with the rest of the world, which is why we've become farmers. We like plants and animals. We like open spaces. We like very little people around. Generally, that's how we are, So it is an enormous challenge it was an enormous challenge for me to start blogging and to share my life personally online as I do. And I have quite a large following. So, it's quite confronting to be speaking to people and know that they know everything of your life because you've just written it out and published it on Facebook. So, that's been an enormous challenge for me personally. And I still find my way through that, but I do want to share vulnerably what's happening for me, because a lot of people don't realize what it is to farm, and they don't realize how much business and organization goes into it, and just what is involved really. So I believe that by sharing my story, I'm hopefully increasing the awareness that the public might have about what small scale organic growers do. And so I feel like I'm a voice for lots of organic growers that are hiding in their fields away from the public eye. But I'm sure, I often get feedback from other farmers saying, oh, wow, that's been my journey. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for writing that. So that's kind of the reason I do it. It isn't comfortable at times for me. And I can often remember, writing a blog post and then just shutting my laptop and just crying, going, oh my God, I believe that I just did that. But yeah, it's part of our growth and being seen and being visible. If I want to find a farm, I have to be visible. I've got to be seen so that people know I'm looking.
Yeah. And again, that's even more encouragement that you, who has an audience who is doing this already, still finds it a tough thing to do. And there's so many farmers out there who have not even considered sharing their story, and I guess I want to encourage you that it is not an easy thing to think about, but the benefits can be so massive. And it comes back to maybe a bit more of a philosophical discussion around, well, what do you want out of life? Do you want your farm, and what are you willing to do to get there, and getting
Yeah,
attention.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Farming will push you in all levels of growth. You have to be able to, you have to hold so many different hats, being a small business operator and being a farmer. So yeah, I do believe a lot of personal growth is required to be able to come, successfully into this kind of enterprise. Yeah. Yeah.
Agree. Well, Shay, I'll leave it there, and I just, you know, all strength to you, and well done,
Yeah.
and love your persistence. Everyone should follow your newsletter. What's the website people should go to, Shay, or Facebook?
Lifeforcefarm.com.
Oops,
Lifeforce.
Life Force
Yeah.
Farm.
.com. Yeah, that's right. You can subscribe to my newsletter there, and yeah, I often share articles around. Yeah, I write quite a lot. Sorry, my cats are trying to jump on me. I write quite a lot about issues affecting small scale growers, all the way from production right the way through to selling things, and just nutritionally. I'm also from a healing background, so I write a lot about food and the links to farming, and yeah, just anything in that realm is what interests me.
I will encourage everyone to get on there and follow you, and if not, at the very least, be inspired. And there are fellow farmers like Shay out there who are using the internet, blogging, even just talking to people. Get out there, talk, tell people your plans, your vision, and doors will open. It's not easy, and it'll take time, but doors will open. So, Shay, thank you so much for just your energy and passion, and for sharing again your story.
Yeah,
Really
thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much. I really appreciate it, and thanks for the work that you're doing in trying to bridge that gap between farmers and landholders. So, yay.
Thank you. We'll speak soon, Shaya.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for your attention and for watching this video. Click here or somewhere to watch more of our videos. If you're new here, please do subscribe. We want more of your attention. We want to get you inspired to get onto your farm. Let's get you farming.